You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
Jeez Louise. You know, do we have to have all these historic events on fucking Wednesday? Really? Fucking Wednesday? Welcome to the divided states of America. Let the insurrection begin. We're gonna be a 60-minute reprieve. We're cutting it short today. I gotta crash. I gotta be out of town early in the morning, and so we're gonna go ahead quick. But we're gonna give you 60 minutes away from that crap. So come on, let's talk sports. Let's talk sports. DSR2. Jesus, Moose. I don't even know. I would love to have a great intro for this, but I don't. So let's just get to it. Without further ado, let's do the do that we do. Holy crap, them jerseys are ugly. DSR2, watch it with us. I am Scrappy, and here's Johnny the Moose.
Hey, we are back here for another edition of DSR2, an abbreviated edition here on the first Wednesday of the new year of 2021. And no, we're not going to say is here, hold it, your things will get worse. No, we are your oasis in a desert. We are your perfect island in the lush tropical paradise there. We are DSR2. Again, lots here of fun stuff to talk about out there too. You know what? Again, I'm going to get right off there. USA. That's right. Team USA wins the World Juniors last night against Team Canada, 2-0.
Nice. Sorry about the camera angle there. The camera got bumped. I had to take care of that. It's still not perfect, but you can see us.
Yes.
We're
so
kicking
it was
it.
Great there. Again, I know Canada might on there. Sorry, but got to root for my Team USA with I think 4 members of the University of Michigan hockey team are on that too. So great to see them win that 2-0 on there. Team Canada was dominant pretty much this whole tournament until the finals. So this is great. And then again, Dabo Sweeney, karma. Ain't that a bitch?
Oh, dude.
You open your mouth. Ohio State is number 11. They don't deserve to be there. How do you like them apples? Dude, just glorious. Ryan Day says, "Yeah, I got something here. Hold it." What? We're up by 20. We're up by 14. Fuck that. I want 21. I want to go. I want to. If I had my chance, I'd score 50 on you fuckers.
Oh, dude, so good.
So we got Bama and Ohio State in the finals. We'll see what happens there. Maybe. I mean, right now there's COVID concerns in Ohio State, so I don't know if we'll have a game on Monday.
We'll have a game. It's a conspiracy. It's all fake.
It's not fake.
Yeah, dude, this Moose. I'm sorry, guys. I had to get that. We bumped stuff around as I'm sorry, as I was doing stuff earlier. So I was trying to get that fixed. I didn't realize it was messed up. Anyway, just for you guys for the camera angles, if you guys are not listening on an audio only thing. Anyway, it's Davo. This is what it is. It's called karma.
Yeah.
Okay. When you say you have the right to say and do really dumb shit. Like, that's the great thing about this country, is that you can say and do some really dumb shit, but
saying it a week before you got to play the guys, maybe not the brightest.
But karma has a way of balancing the universe. Like, you can't, just because you have the right to say that stuff,
doesn't mean you should.
It doesn't exempt you from the consequences of that shit. And karma is a bitch, man, and the consequences are real. And he got to eat a big fat piece of karma cake.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love every fucking second of it. and I hate Ohio State. But that was
I do
great.
too.
We talked about it last week.
Yeah, we talked.
We'll ever root for them.
I said I'm not rooting for them, but if they win, I won't be unhappy.
Yeah, I was rooting for him. I said, "Fuck that! I want him to win just because I'm done with Dabo. Can we stop with Dabo?"
Yeah. Now your quarterback's gone. Let's see what you do now.
I mean, he's a nutbag idiot. And he makes up his own fuck. I don't know what world that guy lives in, but Dabo's a goof, just a damn goof, and he got it. He got what he deserved. Deserved it. Hey, Canada Mike, chiming in. Thank you. Nice to see you. I hope you guys are doing better there than we are. But we're doing. Watch it with us, guys. We got the Miami jerseys are fucking disgusting. I'm sorry. I know. I'm old, fuddy-duddy, but it looks like that bag of mixed cotton candy. You know, where you get the pink on one side and you get the blue on the other side. That's what they look like. They look like bags of circus cotton candy. And I know they put the cool Miami Vice style logo on the thing, and they're embracing the whole 80s of it all. But it's a miss for me. Whatever. I grew up with that shit. That's like my era, and it's a miss for me. Sorry. Just saying.
I could care less on the colors. I don't like this game. I don't like it.
It's odd. I don't like it. Once again, 2021 looked at 2020 and said, "Hold my fucking beer." You know, Dr. Dre has a fucking aneurysm. We lost somebody already this year, a famous person. I can't remember who it was now.
We lost a couple. I'm gonna say
already. We're only a few days in, and then of course, you know, the obvious other stuff we're going to avoid talking about.
We are
today.
not talking about that tonight. For
Yeah.
damn sure. I'm done with that.
Yeah, me and Moose had our hot moments and just blew it out before we got here. We didn't even do show prep really like we would normally do. We just kind of like sat and soaked everything in for a minute. But that's enough of that, and back to back to sports. But
yeah. Tanya Roberts didn't die.
Yeah, that was one. Yep. And then I thought somebody else did, though. We lost somebody already. We might not have. Maybe not. Maybe that's what that was. I was like, man, what the hell's going on here? But so I don't know that.
That was pretty much it. The only one.
Okay, because you can't. Things just don't magically get better because the calendar changed. It's still like just a day from. It's just still the day after yesterday. So we'll just one day at a time, this son of a bitch, and it'll work itself out. But I am still writing 2020 on shit. Are you doing that?
No, so far I've had a couple of job closings there, and I actually wrote 2021 on it.
Yeah, my first one was today. I was like, ooh, I'm proud of myself. I
So
wrote
we did
2021.
that. Also, too, is if you're going to take a game, don't make it quite so as obvious as Doug Peterson did on Sunday night.
Well, I'm telling you,
I know he was playing terrible on there, but again, being the third string in was just like, oh man, it's
if he does that on a Sunday afternoon,
nobody talks about it.
Nobody fucking knows.
But it's Sunday night.
You did it on prime time.
If it was like fifth, because Washington had to win one to get in.
And G-men, you know, Giants fans, quit your fucking whining, you
should have won
pussies.
some games
You
earlier,
win some fucking shit. Don't get mad because somebody else is trying to improve doing what they should be doing and trying to improve their draft stock.
Yeah.
Because they're not going anywhere.
Great. Did you really want to have Tampa Bay come up and play you guys?
I mean, seriously. And then the best story of all for me is the Alex Smith scenario when it comes to stories. And you know, if he goes out and craps the bed in the first round,
yeah. But
still, I mean, it's going to be.
They got
interesting.
there, and because again, they got there because of Alex Smith, really. Because again,
yeah, absolutely.
Honor, and it's a great story, and I did share that on the Facebook feed, the story where his wife took the brace and made it into the Lombardi Trophy. Yes. I thought that was so. I'm like, all right, I need to post this because I thought this is the coolest damn thing.
Yeah, that is very cool.
It's like, and again, if he doesn't win comeback player of the year, then it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Win it, change the damn thing to Alex Smith Trophy.
Yeah, yep.
With it, so you can honor. And again, I mean, again, yeah, it's Walton and Snyder's a complete douche, and but again, Alex Smith and Ron Rivera, dude, how can you not root for just the guys? You know, the ownership's a complete ass clown.
Right.
But the team-wise, this is what the way it's concerned. Damn it, I'm going to root.
Well, and
problem is they're playing Tampa, and there's no way they're going to be Tampa.
Well, and that's the whole thing, right? So, like, I like to, and that's where I was kind of going with this. You guys know, if you listen to the show, you know me. I root for the story. Like, I want something fun and entertaining, and there's got to be a story there. And to me, that's like the good feel-good story, and we need that right now. So that's a good. And so I just feel like, you know, if they come out there and do what I expect that they're going to do and get beat up, then, well, we'll get more into that into pick'ems. Maybe I don't believe that as much, but we'll get into more of that pick'ems. But then I don't know. Is that going to take away from what what Alex Smith has done? No. I don't think it does. But does it? But I mean, does it? I mean, it's kind of like one of those things. If a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to motherfucking see it, like, this is the same kind of thing to me. Like, I feel like all this is this is great stories happening over here, but everybody's
come back on there for just basically a knee injury or whatever. That's right. But what he came back from and how close he came to almost die, close he came to almost losing the leg, sure. How close he said, you're never going to walk again, much less play football again, all the aspects with it, and you can't root. I'm like, all right. Plus the fact is, he seems to be a really, really good guy.
Oh, you know what? I've always kind of thought that about him. I mean, before that's why.
Yeah, I mean, you always saw that even when he was at Utah, they're on there and then get drafted by 9. Yeah, was he the best player? No, he was not a great player.
No.
But again, he said, well, you know what? He's a good guy. And again, his teammates, basically, those are the kind of guys they love.
Right. Oh yeah, yeah, and they'll. And that's the thing about
if they do win, I'm happy.
Right. To me, it's one of those things. Yeah, I like I said, I'd love to see them see that dominant pass rush. Carry them into I just don't know if that's reality or not, because I just don't see Alex Smith, putting up 300 yards and 2 touchdowns.
No.
And that's other than one of those 2 things has to happen.
Yeah.
So to me, for them,
Brady needs to have a stroke or something on it.
Well, I was to say either that or the plane crashes and or whatever.
So we got that. The referee saved the Lions from keep them getting the 7th pick. With their call. Yes, it was a bullshit call. It wasn't roughing the passer. How can you rough the passer when he wraps him up and they go to the ground and the guy still has the ball?
Yeah.
He didn't throw him to the ground.
Yeah.
He didn't basically throw it on there. Dude, he's a safety.
Yes.
Again, he's not with 300 pounds going, I'm going to throw him to the ground.
He sacked the quarterback.
On there. And that was a catch on there by Marvin.
Yep.
But we got the 7th pick overall, so I don't care. I mean, I'm glad they didn't win because.
But why, Moose? They've had out of their 3. Tell me what they picked with their last top 10 picks, just position wise.
Tight end, corner.
So what the fuck are they gonna do with number 7 overall, Moose?
Well, what I hope happens ain't gonna happen.
Right, I know that. I didn't ask you what.
They're gonna take a wide receiver.
Jesus effing Christ. Now, is it going to be the Heisman Trophy winning wide receiver? Is he going to still be there? It's going to be
either him or is it going to be Jamar Chase or maybe Waddle on it. Best thing can happen is everybody passes and all of a sudden Justin Field falls to us on your personally. Then again, we'll see what happens on their with what they can get. Thank God they didn't hire the New England guy as their general manager, unlike Houston, because they didn't learn their lessons the last time. If I'm Deshaun Watson, I'm going up to him as soon as he basically signs the papers. Is trade me right fucking now.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm him, I'm questioning life decisions at this point.
Yes. Why did I sign? What the fuck was I thinking?
Yeah.
When can I get out of this contract? After next year. Oh, bank on that.
Oh yeah.
I'm opting out.
What a mess.
On it. We'll see what happens there on it.
And then all the stuff that goes on inside there with the team chaplain and dude, that's just
they have that team is
that is a
fucked
debacle.
for a decade.
Yeah,
Bill O'Brien fucked that team over for a decade.
Well, who is letting this Chaplin guy make the fucking goddamn decisions in the motherfucking foot? Nah, dude, he was the one that fucking pushed Hopkins out of there.
Hopkins and making the trade.
Come on, man.
Tunsil.
He's got some kind of stupid morality thing going on where he's like, yeah, this guy likes to he likes the ladies. We need to get him out of here. He's a fornicator.
He's got baby mamas.
He's a fornicator. This one here. Fuck out of here.
So we got that on there, but thank God we didn't hire him. So we'll see what happens there. Lots of firings on there. Adam Gase fired.
Yes.
They couldn't wait for that damn loss to be over fast enough, and they said he will not be back.
No. He will be escorted from the building. And
he is gone.
Never to return again.
Anthony Lynn, gone. That was the one I know he's made some questionable decisions game management-wise, but I thought for what they did and how they really developed Justin Herbert this season,
sure,
I thought he bought himself a year. Dude, they got to the AFC Championship 2 years ago.
Right. I kind of agree with you on that one. I was like that. Not that I was wholeheartedly surprised, but like that would be the borderline one, right? Like you could have given him another year. I wouldn't have been mad at that. And then if they don't improve, then whatever. But I agree with you, Herbert. The improvement, from game 1 to game
4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns as a rookie is nothing to be taken lightly.
Well, what I like about it was the improvement from game 1 to game 8 to game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You saw that improvement, so they got to be doing something right over there. And so, and like you said, if you're only 2 years removed from the playoffs, I get maybe why you're looking if you think you could do better, but I think you're right. He probably earned himself another year, but whatever. It's one of those things where I'd rather get rid of somebody early than keep them too long.
Right. And
I guess it's a Belichickian way to kind of do things.
Unless you're getting to see what you get on there with that. We'll see what happens on that. Atlanta, Morris is not going to be kept on as the permanent coach. They're going to go on new direction here. Bears would have been, but they're in the playoffs. So they're stuck with Nagy, and they're going to probably give Mitch a damn extension.
Well, there's a lot of teams that it's like, and Detroit's going to be one of them. But you have what 6 head coach openings or something like that?
Yeah.
And out of all that stuff and all the debacles and everything, dude, Detroit's by far the worst job.
No, I think Houston might be. Because there's no huge... Again, at least Detroit...
Potentially.
Well, yeah, because they have no first round and second round this year for sure. They didn't have anything last year, so they are so...
It's one thing to be bare and have to make crazy moves and do whatever stuff. It's another thing to have completely utter fucking disaster around you.
Detroit's not a high-end job. I mean, again, would I say down there? I think of all the
So
jobs...
I agree that Houston's at the bottom, but I don't think...
No.
The only advantage I think that Detroit has really over is that, you're probably not going to get too much flack from ownership. As far as being up your ass.
Yeah, you're going to get ownership that's going to keep Banner. I think
but
Jets' job is not desirable because they have no talent-wise on there, and the press in New York is something that you just don't want to deal with.
Well, you know what? I think it just depends. I think a lot of these guys that do this stuff that want those jobs, they, being able to go to New York and be there and do that. That outweighs a lot of that stuff. I think that becomes irrelevant. I think when it becomes relevant is when you have a certain type of personality, and so there's only a handful of those kind of personalities in the league that thrive better in those situations or don't look to be in a New York type of situation. So anyway, but I just think.
Of all the jobs on there, probably the most desirable for a coach on there, if was a coach on there, it's San Diego or the Chargers.
All right.
LA Chargers.
LA Chargers, yeah.
Down there because again, they've got their starting quarterback for the next decade, hopefully.
Right.
They got talent around them.
Yep.
I mean, they've got some some receivers and a couple good running backs under. They need a better offensive line under. Defense, once they get healthy, is in a pretty good defensive core under. So they've got the most talent out there, and I think for a coach there, tweak it, getting a couple guys down there, I think they can make a run there, and especially in the AFC West and that. But yeah, I mean, that's probably the best bet. Atlanta, maybe, but I think they're in a full rebuild mode down there. I think they're going to get rid of Julio. I think they're going to get rid of Matty Ice.
Sure.
And they're going to have to go from there on that. Houston, God. Ugh.
Yeah, but I mean, if they can find a way to keep their quarterback around, at least they have a franchise quarterback. But here in Detroit, you've got to move on that, and you don't have a pick that allows you to get that guy.
No.
And they've never ever made a good choice, really. I mean, Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson, Matthew Stafford aside, I'm sorry. If you get a guy like Sue, then you need to find a way to re-sign a guy like Sue. If you bring in a guy like Fairley was supposed to be or whatever, you've got to be able to sign multiple guys for extended deals. J.J. Watt's been in Houston for how long? And they were still able to bring in a quarterback. They were still able to bring in receivers. They were still able to draft well. Now you had a guy that came in and fucked shit up, but they're gonna that was just that one idiot. Once you get past a year or two, which that you'll get a pass on, the owner knows you have nothing.
Right.
Then you go in there and you evaluate talent, and then you get an opportunity to make it your fucking job. And you're at a place where they've fostered good decision making, with the exception of one idiot that they gave too much power to,
right?
Because they have drafted pretty well, and so I don't know. Houston geographically is a more desirable location than Detroit.
Yeah, the plus side is
so
they've got
there's a lot of things I think that makes Houston a better job than Detroit.
I mean, what we can do is basically somehow package Stafford into something on there. Teams that are basically a quarter away from it. The best bet is, I think, again, is Stafford an upgrade over Rivers at this point in his career? Yeah, I think Indianapolis is that team.
Sure, you get for that. It's not getting you. It's not
getting you a first.
No,
and get a second, maybe a second and a third next year.
But so what do you do with that?
Yeah,
because
so much though.
And so that's that. I guess that's
you always got to look, see how the draft plays out, and see what happens. I mean, of the quarterbacks out there, Fields, maybe the kid from BYU is about it.
I mean, if you get a waiver, they're back in this game again.
Yeah, problem is
Detroit's not that.
Well, yeah, you can get key is I know who their dream list is and under, but he's not coming here, and it's Kevin Colbert from Pittsburgh.
Sure.
If you can give him a frickin' bank up a brink truck and let him come back here, then I take him in a heartbeat. Because, dude, talk about a GM that basically drafts everything. Right. Perfect.
Yep.
They get receivers year in on there, but they're not in the first round. They're in the second round or in the third round. Antonio Brown was sixth round.
Uh-huh.
So you can do that if you get the right. Again, Kevin Colbert was part of our system. He was one of our scouts on there, and he all left when the whole morning, when they basically jettisoned everybody. They all left to go to Pittsburgh. Him and Ron Hughes, the late Ron Hughes, were all part of our system. But the problem is that we didn't have a general manager on there. It was a numbers guy.
Right.
Chuck Schmidt was an glorified accountant.
Right.
He was great with salary cap, but that's it.
Right.
You didn't get value. I think
let's not get it twisted. That's the same shit that's going on right now.
Yeah. They still don't have a real general manager.
Right. And anytime they do have a general manager, they still have an accountant in there telling him what to do.
Yeah. You need a general manager to run the team and get Ron Wood just needs to go away. He's your family attorney.
It's the same shit though. But it's the same shit. It'll be somebody else that does the same shit, that doesn't know anything about the game. Dude, just because you can balance a checkbook doesn't mean you should be giving
Right.
input on how to run
I don't
a
want
motherfucking franchise from a player personnel standpoint.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here. And that's the kind of shit that's happening. So it doesn't fucking matter who the GM is. It doesn't matter who the fucking head coach is. That is exactly why Houston is more desirable than Detroit. And Detroit is absolutely the least desirable location open. Period. If I'm going into a job, this is a job. It's not a fantasy. Like for us, this is a fantasy job. For them, this is a job.
Right.
This is, so when you're one of those guys that, it's like for us to do, we'd take any of them. We don't give a shit. But if you want to get somebody credible that's going to do something that's going to make change, they're not fucking coming there. It's not a desirable job. The Bieniemys of the world are off the fucking table.
Oh,
All those guys that are, that people are slating as the new, young, or the untapped talent as coaches and GMs, those people are not coming to Detroit. They're not. They're not as currently constructed, and that is not going to change until ownership's gone because they do this shit. The Ron Wood ownership dynamic, even if they bring before there was Ron Wood, there was fucking what's his name? It doesn't matter. There'll be another one.
Yeah.
And so this job here in Detroit, it will always out of 32 teams be the 32nd most desirable team. Always. Unless you could tell me another team that does that same shit. Because as bad of a guy as Snyder is, he doesn't do that shit. What'd he do for fucking Riverboat? He fucking gave him the keys to the vet.
Right. And that was, they got rid of the general manager and everything with it. And again, we'll see what happens in Jacksonville, too, on here with Ned, because they're talking Urban, and he wants $12 million a year.
Fuck him.
First of all, dude, he's never coached in the pros. I'm not getting Urban.
Dude, we laughed at the Gruden 10 mil. And you want 12? Shut the fucking, get out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
You know what that tells me? Urban really doesn't want to coach again.
Dude, that tells me that he's getting fucking paid.
He's getting paid.
And he ain't doing shit. And he's like prorating what he makes with ESPN, how much time he puts into that, how much time he'd have to put into playing. He's like, I want $12 million.
Yeah,
That's what that motherfucker's doing.
I'm happy here just coming on Saturdays on Fox there.
I'm fucking super genius here. I go there and we lose one game or one bad ball, I'm fucking crucified.
Yeah.
I ain't doing it. Here, I'm always a super genius, no matter how wrong I fucking am. So why would he leave?
I don't know. I think he's thinking
Dude,
Fox.
yeah. All it is, I'll come if you got the money. And then if I'm going to pay the money and he comes, then maybe somebody else is paying money.
Right.
Maybe he can leverage that shit. Who knows? But it has nothing to do with anything.
But no. But if somebody pays him, hey,
Sure.
Yeah. You're going to throw money at me? Sure. I'm going to stick it Fox. Come on there. They give me some nice clothes to wear. I don't have to pay for that shit.
Yep.
I don't have to worry about anything.
I can
sleep at night.
I'll get into my guarantee, and then I'll just say, I got to quit because of health problems. And then I'll go back to ESPN again.
Well, he's at Fox, not ESPN.
Well, whatever. You can go back to ESPN.
No.
Because he's at Fox now. You can go to ESPN.
And again, the Fox college show on there, it's a lot better than ESPN. So it's not even.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. Absolutely. And he does good on there, and that's why you just do that.
Right.
And that's the thing with Gruden. And I think that played out this year. Because they underachieved.
And they're stuck with that because they gave him a $10 million a year guaranteed.
Yeah.
And part ownership.
Yeah, he's only 2 years in, and he's got part ownership. So, yeah, what are you going to do?
2 years or 3 years?
I thought it was 2, but maybe
I think they just finished their third year.
Yeah, you're right. It might be 3, yep.
And they're terrible. I mean, again, they are what we thought they were.
Well, when you make... He hasn't made... We talk about Bill O'Brien, but fuck, Gruden hasn't done himself any favors with some of the teams.
Best pick on there for Khalil Mack for...
That situation's ridiculous.
Oh, wow, he's been... What the fuck were you watching?
All right, Jesus Louise. Boston putting a hurting on Miami because Miami's distracted by their own fucking jerseys.
They're blind.
Yeah, they're blinded by their own floor.
Boston's got little tinted contact lenses, so it's like wearing sunglasses.
Yes, I'm convinced if I wore 3D glasses right now, they'd pop out the screen, but that's a whole other story. All right, so what the fuck did we see this week? Nothing spectacular in the realm of the NFL other than...
Buffalo put a hammer on Miami.
Yeah, in Cincinnati... I'm sorry, not Cincinnati, but Cleveland could barely squeak by
the third string.
I mean, come on, man. And now you're all up in. It isn't a surprise that the two COVID teams are both in fucking Ohio, because now Cleveland's got a COVID issue, and they're probably not going to. They're just going to get dismantled. So, Cleveland fans, welcome to the life and times of a Detroit fan, where you suck. You finally get to the playoffs. You finally think you got a little bit of a team going on, and you finally think there's a chance you could win, and you're going to go to the playoffs and get beat, and then you'll just probably do. Hopefully, you don't do what we do, but you might just be done. You might just fall apart after that. Who knows?
Yeah, we got Buffalo laid a hammer on Miami. Now they're talking Miami's not thrilled about Tua, that they may draft another quarterback.
Dude, when you have so many goddamn picks, hey, fuck, why not? Like, you have like fucking 30 goddamn picks in the first like 70.
Yeah.
So, like, why wouldn't you just, like, redo your whole roster?
First of all, you're drafting that high up, dude. You're drafting ahead of, dude, 10 linemen there to keep the guy protected, or get a legitimate wide receiver, because they don't have anybody.
I think it just depends on where you're at. It depends on if you can get even more assets. What if you can bump back? Get even more assets. You can get a couple linemen. You can get a defensive back. You can get a tight end or whatever the fuck. Dude, you have a wealth of riches. You could pick up another quarterback just so you have, like, maybe the Fitzmagic thing is going to fizzle out and you're going to need a new comparable backup or somebody that can compete and push Tua to control that football a little bit better and to stay on the field kind of scenario, like whatever the case may be. Like, but with the wealth of riches you have options coming out of your ass. Like, if they wanted to choose or a quarterback high, like, go ahead. Like, St. Louis or the Cardinals did it.
Yeah.
I mean, cut bait. No, I personally think it's early, but if you've got the pick and you think you can get a guy, think about it like this. San Diego back in the day had Phillip Rivers and Drew Brees essentially in their fucking pocket. You got to make a move on somebody, and Drew Brees went to, because they didn't think Drew Brees' shoulder
they thought
blew out his shoulder.
Never come back with that shoulder.
But I mean, this is the same thing, right? You've got questions on whether Tua is going to be able to stay healthy and be effective. So, do you draft another quarterback, sit on for a year, and then if Tua doesn't play out, or what if they're both good? Then you get rid of one,
right?
And everybody's looking for a good quarterback.
I think their scenario is there's no wrong decision, because
I guess that's my point, is that with that many picks and all the stuff that's, like you said, you
give him the weapons there to help him out and make him better.
You could do all kinds of. Well, sure, you could. You could put all this money in all these weapons and do all this stuff, and then he could just be a mediocre quarterback that just wins you a wild card game every other year, doesn't get you to a championship, and then, of course, then you're at a quarterback conundrum because you're paying all these linemen and all these things around it, and you're no longer on a rookie contract, right, which we have established on this show. If you are going to win a championship, 90% effectiveness is when you have a quarterback on a rookie deal.
This might be the first year where basically we'll disprove our theory on there, which it could happen is if, say, Green Bay and Kansas City both get to the Super Bowl.
Right, but you still got your quarterback. You still got one of them that's.
No, they're both on big deals now.
Oh well, but his deal doesn't kick in till next year.
I think they
on Mahomes
gave him the bonus and all that effective.
Well, he's got bonuses this year, and he might have got his signing bonus.
He got his,
but they only extended him. That doesn't kick in yet. So you are technically still when you're on cap. When you're talking about cap, that's why they have all these weapons around them. Next year, the cap hit's going to change their roster. Right. So none of that, none of the semantics, Moose, and trying to play. You're starting to play politics on me here. This is sports. We weren't going there. He is still on his rookie deal. So yes, it doesn't disprove anything. You can get there, but like I said, 90% effectiveness and all that is you want to get on that rookie deal.
Right.
And then if you want to do what the Patriots did, then you are reworking deals every chance you get to work that cap and to do stuff. And that is what Mahomes will have to do in order to continue to be successful. And if they cannot work that out in Kansas City, then the dynasty will be short-lived.
Yeah, that could be under.
And that's
But Kansas City's going to have a lot tougher time than, say, Green Bay. I think Green Bay, the NFC is going to be a lot easier road to go to.
Well, sure. But we can talk about the East having a better an easier path than the West when you go in basketball, but it doesn't necessarily
change the matter on there.
It doesn't really make a difference.
Again, the one thing is with the NFC on there, Green Bay is definitely on it. Of all the other teams out there, Tampa Bay might be the one team people don't really want to play because they think they're starting to roll a little bit. On there, I'm not buying into Drew Brees coming back with New Orleans on there. I think that ship has sailed. Seattle, no, because I think I think Russell might be hurt.
Potentially.
Yeah, with the way they're playing under. Yeah, the defense is playing better than that, but they still don't. They have not played offensive. Russell has not played like Russell for the last half of the season.
All right.
Forget about the Rams. That's not going to happen.
No. Quarterback play is not good enough.
Chicago.
No, one and done.
But whereas like the AFC, Buffalo might be the team that Kansas City really doesn't want because they seem to be just starting to roll.
Well,
the defense got healthy, and they're back. And again, there is a perfect example. They made a trade that benefited both teams. It benefited the Vikings, and it benefited them because they got a legit number one receiver now with Diggs, and look what he did there with Josh Allen. Plus, I think Diggs likes playing with Josh Allen better than he likes playing with Kirk Cousins because Kirk Cousins is kind of a prick.
Yeah.
And I think Josh Allen is more affable on it. I think talent-wise, I think Allen's probably better talent than
Well, what happens is you've got a guy that is like so standoffish and so like hard to get along with, and you're just not comfortable around. And then you meet a guy that's cool, that's kind of comes to you and does all the things that you like, the opposite of what you're used to, and it's like a shock to the system. And that can be one of two things. It could either, take you down, but in this case, it's obviously a good shock, and it has elevated his game for both players.
Yeah, and I think as a team, especially they seem to have a lot of fun playing.
And
you can just see the body language on there with it on there. Again, and then we got Derrick Henry going off for 250 yards to get over the 2,000 yard mark.
Right.
On it, dude. If I'm a defensive back and I see him running, I'm like, I gotta make a business. I gotta make a business decision.
Yeah, no.
How can I have that turf monster just grab me and make me fall down?
No, I am going to my pro wrestling background and I'm giving him a drop toe hold where I'm not anywhere near him. I'm on my feet and his feet and I'm tripping his ass up. I'm not impacting him.
I'm not going high.
I'm impacting him. If I have to drop kick his ankles, I'll do. I am not going anywhere fucking near this guy's body. It's not happening. No fucking way, dude. When a car is running you down on the street and all you have is a gun to save you, you shoot the fucking tires.
Yeah.
I'm shooting the fuck tires. You know what I'm saying? You can shoot at the engine block all you want. Even if you're lucky enough to hit it dead center, it's just going to explode on your ass.
Yes.
So I am not. I'm shooting the tires out on a guy like that. And that's hard to do. That is a hard ask for anybody now. Yeah. But, you play a game like that. You play that game with that style like that. You typically don't, it doesn't.
Right.
It's not comparable to longevity. So we'll see how many seasons he can do that have those kinds of feats like that in his. I just think it's. But like you said, dude, watching him blow through people, man, I'm done. Yeah, I don't blame guys that make business decisions on that one.
Because if I try to get him up high, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah, you might be going to the hospital. If you don't,
what do you got? Brain injury.
How many guys are getting you're definitely going to have to see the equipment manager because something's going to be fucked, broken, or messed up. So you're definitely going to see the equipment manager. Going to jam you up good. But yeah, to me, it's the two top teams and everybody else. Canada Mike is skeptical of of the Chiefs, even though he is, as we know, a hardcore Chiefs fan.
It's either,
and he has been for a long time.
Yeah, and I think with them is with the Chiefs on there, they've just been playing down to the competition. So either they're toying with everybody and they just say whatever, or there's getting obviously the Super Bowl hangover. We won't find out till next week and see what happens there. But that's kind of one of those ones you go,
Well, my whole thing is so like, what didn't they get accomplished this season that was probably their goal?
They accomplished it.
Then what the fuck are we talking about?
They only lost one game, but you know what it is it's the eye test. Well, they didn't look that great. Well, you know what? They didn't look that great, but when they needed to, they just turned it on and you go, oh, crap.
Guess what? The 04 Pistons didn't look that great either.
No, but they won.
They won a championship.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not saying that, but I mean, to me, when you look back at the team, you look at their record, you look at who they beat, and, the one loss, you kind of go, what the hell's that? It does seem very much like an anomaly. Put the scoreboard aside. You were in COVID year, so I don't want to hear that, they're blowing cats out. They're not blowing cats out like they should be, because with the way everything is, it's a different world, and you're playing down to your competition. Just doing what you need to do to get it done seems to be fine right now. And so I'm not going to get mad at that. So in totality, as I look at the Chiefs, we won our division, we got a number 1 seed, and we lost how many games again?
1.
And who did we lose to?
Raiders.
And what have the Raiders done since?
Yeah, we took them out to the woodshed after because they did a drive-by.
So, to me, I don't know. What do you want? They avenged the only loss they had on a week that they stumbled. And to be quite frank, it had to be the single best game Derek Carr played in a long time.
Oh, yeah.
If maybe not his career. And so all these things had to get in line for them to lose that game. And when they had a chance to vindicate it, they did that without... I'm sure they had, like I said, that goal to win the division, get the number 1 overall seed, and get to the playoffs. And they've done that. Now they're going to get to the Super Bowl. They're a couple... At what point do you think they can't win those couple games? I get it. They're not dominant as possible. Oh, sorry, 2 losses. They're not as dominant as they were. What was the second loss?
I don't think they lost the second game. No, they finished the season. Oh, they lost to the Chargers on there 17 on there.
Oh, well, yeah.
Well, with backups.
The sit game.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not concerned with that because they already locked in the number 1 seed.
Right.
Yeah. So the sit game doesn't count.
No.
So I'm not going to go there with the second loss. So
they only lost 1 with their starters on there.
And so to me, I just feel like they've checked all the boxes, and so because they won in the convincing fashion that you're used to, or that you saw last year, which to me I feel like was more of an anomaly. I think when you are that dominant and you do all those kinds of things, that's hard to repeat that kind of performance, even if you're good like that.
Right.
So we do see flashes of them repeating those performances, and they're still winning games. And we've talked about grit of teams coming in when they win close games, and how do they deal with adversity and all these types of different things. I just feel they're checking all the boxes. So I don't know who's gonna knock them off.
Buffalo's the only team I can see that may beat them.
I don't see it. I don't see Buffalo beating them. Seriously, if you got to make the pick, Moose, you're honestly picking Buffalo to win that game?
I think.
Okay, then. Let's be real. Saying that they have the most potential to is fine. But
I see
them getting popped? Who's going to pop them? That's what I'm asking. I get it. There's guys all around the corner that are ready to pop Fredo, but who fucking popped him?
Michael.
Okay.
But again, what Kansas City had that nobody else does is they have such depth, offensive skill position. I mean, they're just loaded.
Right.
You can't stop them. You can't. You don't have enough guys to double cover everybody.
Right.
I mean, come on. Your tight end was second in the league in receiving. He had 1,400 yards receiving.
Right.
He's going to cover him. And again, you also got to kill the fastest man, the cheetah, man. You can't cover him. Then you've got Hilaire and Le'Veon Bell, and you also got Sammy Watkins, and you got Hardman. They are just, and you have the quarterback that can basically make all the throws effortlessly.
Yeah. I just feel like
the only team that might honor it again, because I don't think their defense that good, it'll be a shootout, might be Green Bay.
Sure.
Because you got Aaron.
Right.
And Devontae Adams is a bad man.
Well,
Devontae Adams he missed 2.5 freaking games, and he still had something like 16 touchdowns.
Sure. And I'd see if Kansas City's going to get popped, it's Green Bay in the Super Bowl.
Right.
But to me, that you got to the fucking Super Bowl.
You got to the Super Bowl, and again, Green Bay does. Green Bay
back-to-back Super Bowls is no motherfucking
Their defense
joke.
is not that good. They got a couple of nice receivers, and they got a really good run game.
My question is, how many teams have won back-to-back Super Bowl?
The only one basically in recent memory is one, England.
Okay. Then how many people have got, won one and then got popped the following year?
Well, New England.
Right. And then, of course, back in the day, Buffalo
Seattle
did their 4. So there's only a hand, but you could look and say, okay, there's like 6 or 8 teams in recent history that have ever even achieved just that.
Yeah, there's only, you look at how many
it's like, I guess it's relative when you start thinking about the Chiefs like that. And would I like to see them win back-to-back? I think it'd be cool. But it's a hard feat. But if you get to the Super Bowl and you get popped by Green Bay in a close one, the fuck, that's not a failure of a season, and you're still in good condition. Once again, we just get back to what we were talking about earlier, as then how do you deal with the cap scenario going forward and what you do with your roster.
Since the salary cap came in event on there, New England's been the only one to win back-to-back. Teams have gone to multiple Super Bowls and lose the second one. You've got obviously New England with that one. Seattle got that. Pittsburgh had that because they beat Arizona, then lost to Green Bay.
Yep.
And that's pretty much been it because it's.
So you're talking about you're in rarefied air, right? You're one of a few teams that have achieved these kinds of things, and you're still intact for the most part, roster-wise. Even when the salary cap changes next year and you have hits, you will still have a majority of the key figures there. And as long as you can continue to draft young talent and you can continue to manipulate contracts and work things out, then you will continue to be fine. To me, I just don't see anybody popping them unless
plus
it's Green
you
Bay.
have the best offensive mind basically calling on there as your head coach there with Andy Reid.
Right. So
unfortunately, Frisco, I do love Kyle Shanahan, but they don't have the talent. And again, they got banged up this year. They got injury bug every damn position.
Yeah.
And I don't think Garoppolo is the guy to get you over the top.
I'm with you. A 60-minute version, guys, because I got to get up early. I'm working out of town.
We got pick'ems there. We got
to get them in. We got the playoff edition of pick'ems.
So we got 6 games, guys. 2 triple headers.
So weird.
We have literally.
I'm so angry. I got to work on Sunday, so I am taking my tablet with this Prime on it, and I'm watching the fucking games while I'm working in an office.
Well, they will be on the YouTube Sports, so you might not even.
Oh, I could go out of YouTube. Oh, then we're on it.
You download the YouTube Sports app, and you'll be able to watch the game.
Oh, then I'm all about that. I think Yahoo's gonna have them too, so there's options.
That's where I meant Yahoo.
Yeah, I have that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yahoo Sport on here. So, all right. So we got 3 games Saturday, 3 games Sunday. First game on Saturday at 1:05 in snowy Buffalo. The Buffalo Bills play the Indianapolis Colts for the first wild card game. Bills are a 6.5 point favorite. Over under is 51 on this one. Again, Indy's played pretty well on there. Got a nice running game on there. But going up again, the quarterback plays indoors, and before that he played in San Diego and L.A.
All right.
Give me the Bills. He's not going to be used to that weather, and I like the Bills.
I'm with you. Bills are...
Bills Mafia, baby.
Yep, I'm with you, baby. I'm with you all day and twice on Sundays.
All right, so the second game on there is a rematch of a couple weeks ago. Rams Seahawks. This is the rubber match. Both have won a game this year against each other. It is Seahawks at home. They're a 3.5-point favorite against the Rams. Over under 42.5.
That's a tough one to touch right now, just with the way they're playing. I'd like to say over. I mean, you should. I feel like two teams in the playoffs would go over, but I don't know. I wouldn't touch it.
I'm not touching this one. Goff coming off the
that's
the
what I'm
thumb
saying.
injury,
Right,
man.
sure. And then the way
Just
Wilson's
because of the
playing,
thumb injury, even though the defense for the Rams
Right.
have been playing good on there, I do like the Seattle's defense over the last half of the season on there.
Sure.
Give me the Seahawks.
I'm with you. Taking the Seabags. I think Russell is even when he's not playing great, is still
Better than Goff.
Yeah.
On that. All right, here's the game on there that Chase Young wanted to happen. He's looking for it. Washington football team is at home. They're an 8-point dog over under. I can't believe this is only 45 against the Buccaneers on this one. I got Buccaneers winning big.
Yeah. I mean,
Unfortunately, I would love to see Alex Smith pull out a win on that one. I just don't see it. They just don't have enough offense to get it going.
I agree with you for a big portion of this, except for one thing. How the fuck is this on? Get that shit off my goddamn sports channel. Oh, sorry, you guys can't see that. That's good. Watching ESPN, and all of a sudden there's like political shit on here. Get that fucking shit off here. Sorry. Okay, so I am with you in the fact that Tampa Bay is going to win this game, but I'm going to tell you something. Tom Brady hates the blitz. He hates the blitz. He hates having anybody in his face. He can't get a rhythm. He can't get his timing. He can't get his footwork, and he's not nearly as effective. I'm going to tell you right now, Riverboat Ron is going to sell the fuck out on that blitz. That they are going to put so much heat on Brady that though I fully expect Tampa Bay to win, this game is not going to be the offensive juggernaut that you think it is. This game will be closer than people anticipate. Maybe we'll see that. Maybe I'm way off, but to me,
They're going to have
a team that puts pressure on Tom Brady will disrupt what he's doing. Will they beat him? Will that be enough? No, the fuck it won't. But I do believe that it will be enough to make this game more interesting than anticipated.
Again, if they can disguise the blitz and do it on there, but if he's reading the blitz under, he will eat them alive because he's done that in the past. All right, we got a Sunday game, so unfortunately Scrappy's got to work. I don't. So I'm going to be watching the Ravens and the Titans on this one. Titans are Titans are at home because they won their division. They're a 3.5-point dog at home on this one. I'm not buying it. I think Tennessee beats the Ravens. I'm not sold on Lamar Jackson being able to win a big game.
I'm with you there too. I don't. This one's like the hardest pick of them all. I love to.
It's gonna be a close game, but I think it's gonna be that. It could be that 3 to 5 point swing.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a close game. I would tend to agree with you on the way the Titans play and the way this thing carries and all this stuff. To me, I feel like the difference might be coaching. I don't know. This is a real tough one. I think Tennessee's running game is going to be the difference. I really think they can dominate
both are the top 2 running teams in the NFL.
They are, but they are completely different running games.
Right.
You're talking about a quarterback that does a majority of the running, and that it does not lend to beating down, wearing down the defense, dominating the clock, dominating time of possession and field position. It just doesn't tend to that.
I mean, Derrick Henry
like
basically is on. He's basically hitting 3 and 2 and 3 yards that first quarter. That fourth quarter, those are 15 yarders.
Sure.
Those are basically. Oh my God, this hurts on there. Also, I think Tennessee's got the better receivers with Corey Davis and AJ Brown over.
I just think that
Baltimore.
they have a problem with Baltimore is a bit dynamic, and I don't know that they can handle. I think it's going to be a close game. I think if Tennessee can grind it out, they'll win it. I'm going to pick Tennessee. I don't feel good about it, though. I could easily see Baltimore winning this game, but I'm with you, man.
All right, so we got another game on there, the 4 o'clock game, 4:40 game. Saints are at home against the Chicago Bears. Yes, the Bears got in. Unbeknownst to all their fans who wanted them to lose, now they got to deal with an extension for Trubisky on there. Saints are a 10-point favorite on this one.
Sure.
Bears have been playing better. I think Saints still win this one. I don't think they're going to cover, but I think they're going to win.
Yeah, I think Chicago is going to, for the most part, just shit the bed. I don't know what else to say. So, yeah, I'll take the 10 and the win for the Saints.
Okay, so our last game is rematch from last week. Steelers at home against the Browns. Steelers are a 6-point favorite on there. Again, remember, the Browns beat them last week, but against third stringers. and
they barely beat them. I'm sorry, guys.
I got Steelers. Give me the 6.
Yeah.
Give me the 6. I'll take the over. Give me the Steelers.
Dude, you got COVID protocol all over the place on that Browns team on top of it. So you had the third stringers last time. Now you get to be the third stringers this time. You're going to get some. So,
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh for sure.
As Steeler fan says, Steeler,
Right. Steelers, and more Steelers.
There we go.
Okay. All right. Well, another. I like the playoff edition ones. But it becomes one of those things, Moose, where it's hard to. It is what it is, right? Like, there are very few matchups where you look at it and go, where's the upset at? Tennessee being the only one this week that I look at and go, there's a potential for an upset there, and I think that there will be or whatever. But I'm not confident with it at all. I could definitely see Baltimore winning that game, but that's the only one.
That's the only one on there that I see as a possibility on it. Yeah, I don't see any of the other ones on there that jump out at me.
And which one? What game? What time is that game?
Baltimore, and that's the 105 game on Sunday on ESPN.
Naturally. That will probably be the most compelling game, I think, competition-wise. But we shall see.
That, probably will be.
You know what I mean?
On there, yeah.
I mean, just from a sheer, being close and competition, and you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, guys, sorry we only did 60. We would have gotten into a whole bunch of other stuff. There's plenty of the NCAA stuff to get into, football, all that stuff. But, I mean, I think we tried to touch a little bit on the whip around pretty good.
Yeah, we would talk about Alabama, Ohio State, but we don't even know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, who knows what's going to go on there? You know what? It was nice to do an hour because I didn't have to go into a COVID thing. Because that's what would have happened if we got into that shit.
Right.
Because, we talked about it before, the fact that these sports have made it this far with the minimal, I guess, for the most part, issues that they've had is pretty remarkable considering, trying to get people to mobilize to all do the same thing, and it's hard to do. So, guys, we would be remiss if we didn't at least acknowledge the crazy shit going on in our country right now. So this is how we'll kind of do it. Just try to take a deep breath and woosah, man.
Yeah.
Take this opportunity to, be with your loved ones and just stay positive and stay away from that stuff, the negativity and all the craziness, and but be informed, but don't drive yourself to paranoia. Talk things out with people you trust, and if anybody in your world is overly fanatical in any direction, in any way, shape, or form, right, left, or center, just walk away. Just don't get caught up in any of it. Do you, worry about you and what's important with you, and and let all that other stuff work itself out. Don't get caught up in the Twitter trolls and the social media nonsense.
No.
Just do what we tell you to do each and every week, and not like because we tell you, but because it's good for your heart and your soul. Be good to each other, be good to yourself, and just, you know, show love where it's needed, to who it's needed, when it's needed. That's all we ever ask for. We'll do it. You'll do it. I know you'll do it. We love you guys.
We'll be back next week.
We'll see you.
Peace out, brothers.
Peace.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.